Destination Mark.
Bet you weren't expecting that, huh? Hey guys, how's it going? Marcelo here, and oh boy, welcome to another film reviews. Hi. Oh God, where do I begin? Okay, a little bit of backstory here. So what music am I gonna use for this? I just realized that. Okay, I don't know. A little bit of backstory. So Jeremiah had his birthday some time ago, about a good week ago or so, and we went out to eat. We had Korean barbecue for the first time ever for me. It was really good. That was really cool. And we just hung out. It was me, Weston, Chase, Jeremiah, all hanging out for his birthday. Weston bounced pretty early after we finished eating. I went with Chase and Jeremiah to the movies just to go see something. We didn't really know what. Warcraft's been out for a while now, but that's what we decided to go see. And I'm over here like, I don't play World of Warcraft or any of that, so, but then I thought to myself, let me challenge myself. Let me try and see if I can get through this movie without getting bored, without feeling tired or falling asleep. Let's see how long I can endure this and just see if I might like it. And let's get to the review. Now, because I don't know the characters, the lore, the environments, because that was one thing I already knew, and Chase obviously confirmed it for me since he was the one who, at that time, on that day when we went to go see it, he already saw it once before. Jeremiah wanted to go see it, and I just wanted to tag along so I can challenge myself. And he told me, yeah, so, and also I had seen Jeremy John's review beforehand, because I never thought I was going to watch it, so I was like, okay, not so much that I got spoiled or anything, not that I really cared, but, Chase is like, yeah, so first and foremost, this is a video game adaptation movie. It's built and made for the fans, purely, in mind first and foremost. So don't worry if you don't get a lot of stuff. And he tells me, I already know you're not going to get a lot of stuff. You don't play these games. I'm like, you're right. So, of course I went into this going, okay, I'm not going to get everything. I'm not going to understand everything. But for what it was worth, it was okay. It was, funny enough, it was kind of memorable in terms of how certain things went down, and certain characters I can still remember their names. There's going to be a lot of human characters I don't remember the names of, but for the most part, so I'll just refer to them as what they looked like in my head, what I remember them looking like visually, and then if you know those characters, you'll know those characters. So, hopefully I can do this movie service in this review, so I hope that, bear with me. I'm not going to remember a lot of things, mainly names and such, so, and also, there won't be a spoiler review like I usually, for the last two movies I did a review on. I had the non-spoiler, the non-spoiler reviews, and then the spoiler reviews. Because I'm not really too sure what would be considered a spoiler and what wouldn't be, this is both. Technically, well, this is the spoiler review, let's just say that. So if you haven't seen the movie yet and you're a huge ass Warcraft fan, go see the movie first before seeing this review, because I don't know what I'll be spoiling. I'm just going to talk about the movie. So, with that being said, here we go. Okay, super basic plot. The orcs want to go to Azeroth and invade, and the humans won't let them. War breaks out. Alright, so see you guys later. No, that's like the most basic synopsis. The more in-depth plot is that there's a horde of orcs led by Gul'dan, and they want to invade another world, which in this case is Azeroth, where the humans live. And basically, so they create a portal. This is where I'm trying to just remember. My mood instantly changed. So they go and make a portal. They go in, and basically from there, he's one of the main character spellcaster guys. I don't remember the name. I'll probably also be throwing them up here because I'll be looking for them and for what the guys look like later when I'm editing this. But the main spellcaster dude, ding. He goes over, they find the king and of Stormwind, I believe it is, and there's a lot of stuff that happens. I'm trying to remember in what order it happens in, but basically one of the plot lines, or one of the things that happens in the plot, is that they they catch wind that the orcs are trying to invade, and so they go, and at first, they fight because they fight. They know each other, they have their histories, and they don't like each other. They're two different races that are trying to, one tries to invade the other, and yada yada yada. So, one of the main things is that they try to meet up with them at a central rendezvous so they can talk about a peace treaty. Gul'dan is a huge dick, so he has his own horde dudes there who, they plant them in certain areas to ambush them, and basically to make them think, oh, we can't trust them, look, and they try to ambush us, when really there's a chieftain named Duratan who is like, yeah, maybe we should. He's reluctant to join Gul'dan, and he's like, okay, let's maybe partner up, join up with the humans, because the humans are like, okay, so if you join up with us, why are we fighting? If you join up with us, we can take on anything, the bigger threats out there, that's the basic thing of it. And so Duratan notices this and he's like, okay, let's kind of do that. But with Gul'dan's dudes, yeah, they're trying to make sure that doesn't happen. They're either going to eradicate them and go, and that's what's going to happen. There's also a female orc named Gorona, I believe, and she joins the humans really early on because they capture her and they're gonna I think at one point they wanted to kill her, but then they're like, wait, hold on, maybe she can be of use to us. I'm gonna mention something right now that I'll get into later, after I talk about plot. She is played by, I don't remember her name, I don't know the actress's name, but she is played by a live action actor. She's live action, she's not CGI. All the other works are CGI, but she isn't. I'll get into that later, into the aesthetics and such, but yeah, so they have her, and then she joins them, and at one point, let's just kind of cut everything else. Let's get to the very end, so I don't want to go on for too long on the plot. Leave some mysticism for you guys, but they want her to kill the king, so that way, she does, but because they need her to get back into good graces with the orcs, so that way they can later overthrow Gul'dan, and then she can, because the orcs, just kind of all the ones that don't matter, are like the most, are the stereotypical impressionable crowd in movies where they need people to go one-sided with one person or go one-sided with the other, be it the hero or the villain or whatever the case is. They need an impressionable ass crowd. So the orcs in general that don't matter are this crowd. So they go between should we follow Gul'dan? Should we follow Duratan? What? So they want her to kill the king, so that way they can see that she's with them. She's with them. She's not a traitor. And then when they overthrow Gul'dan, she'll be like, okay, now let's actually, let's follow the humans. Let's do what we should have been doing this entire time. And that's basically around the end of the movie, and they leave it open for a sequel, so Gul'dan doesn't die or anything. They technically don't overthrow him. I think if they're gonna make a second movie, which is, I think it's inevitable. I think it'll be more about that, trying to overthrow him. That's kind of what the first movie of this movie was about, but I don't know. I feel like they'll go further with that because I don't know. It kind of just ended. And it didn't really have much in the way of closure, so I don't really know. But that's the basic synopsis. So let's talk about the characters and the ones I remember. I'm gonna say first and foremost, the son dying of that one guy was dumb because we only saw him for a scene or two, literally, and then he dies, and we're supposed to be like, oh no, a character has died, holy shit, and there was no real connection. Then they stretch it out it's a big deal. This did not, I don't know if it is in the games or not, but they're like, this dude is dead, feel sorry for the dad, who's all freaking morbid and pale and shit from this event. I was like, well, he's dead. I don't feel anything. Not to sound all whatever, but as a character, I didn't get attached, so I'm and that's just, a lot of people didn't, even those who were fans, Jeremiah and Chase were yeah, that was kind of dumb, I don't And they talked about, then they amongst themselves, and I was listening in, were talking about the games and how I guess the storyline goes in the games. But in terms of the movie, for this dude dying, I was like, okay. Next scene, please. I don't really know. There wasn't much to say about that. They also try to force this romance kind of between Garona and I don't remember the guy right here, him. And it went nowhere. It literally went nowhere. So I hope that if they do make a sequel, I don't know if I'm gonna go watch it, necessarily. But if they made a sequel, one of the things I would just hope for is that they don't try and continue that romance, because it literally went nowhere. They didn't even really play it up. They just kind of had it there for, again, about literally like 2 or so scenes, and it went nowhere. I was just like, why? Force this shit. I was like, why did this happen? There was no reason for this. Not every movie has to have a fucking ass romance, okay? Seriously. I don't know why they included it. So, that was kind of... we're getting into things that I didn't care for and I didn't really like in this movie. So, dude's son dying, didn't really feel attached to him because we literally just saw him for like 2 minutes of screen time before he died. Forced as shit relationship thing, romance, not even as much of a relationship, just like some pissy ass romance, I don't really know. So there's that, but there's that. So visually, it looked pretty good. Chase said so don't go into this expecting the visuals to be like Lord of the Rings, quality, which that's his opinion. He didn't really think it was of that caliber. Just at seeing the establishing shots and all of those environmental shots, it was pretty okay. I kind of liked the way they look, and of course, they're places based off the game, so there are people that are going like, oh my god, holy crap, it looks cool, because they got what parts of the game and of the game's world that this is being, portrayed from, is being adapted from. And that's cool and all, for those who get it, they get it. And I was looking at the visuals like, okay, it looks pretty cool visually. But let's talk about the aesthetics and the aesthetics of the orcs and all that. Before that though, let me just mention real quick. I remember Blackhand. He was probably one of my favorite, orc villain dudes. Not even so much as Gul'dan looked pretty badass. He was short as hell, but Blackhand looked pretty badass. And he had the shoulder pads with the skulls and all that, and the spines that trailed down over his back. He was pretty cool visually. I liked the way he was designed and dressed and whatnot. Went out like a bitch though. He gets this power from Gul'dan, and you think he's gonna wreck shit and be super crazy, almost like the last boss, the boss before the last boss. His henchman. He went out so easily. Oh my god, it was sad how much. I don't know. It was weird. I didn't really care for that. But he was pretty cool. But about the orcs in general, I wonder how it would have been like if they cleverly blended live action with CGI, because Garona's the only orc who is played by a live action actress. If all of them were played by, they could easily have all been portrayed by 2, 3, 4, 5 live action actors who are buff and bodybuilder kind of guys for actors, and then just blend it in. They did that with okay, no, I'm thinking about it, and I was about to say they did that with Andy Serkis as Gollum, but then again, Gollum is all CG. Point being, what if they blended in, they had live action people and then blended in the CGI as well, so that way, I don't know how it would have worked, I don't know how that can work, but I feel like it would have been more of an impact if they were all... The horses being thrown around and having to put them in CG obviously makes sense, you don't want to harm animals, but, because you can tell when the horses were going about and they're live action, but then when there's a part where they freaking throw a horse and he's CG, so of course that makes sense. But for the orcs themselves, I think it would have been better if they were not all CG, and if they were, again, crazy detail. That's probably why they didn't go this route, but it would have had a bigger impact. kind of taking a page out of Doug Walker's book, A Nostalgia Critic, where he's like, there's a way to blend practical with CG. That way you know it's there, and you know that the impact of certain things, there's a real ass impact because they're portrayed by live action actors. I would have added more weight, so to speak, no pun intended, to the whole thing of the impacts and how the fights break out and all that. A little more believable as well. With that being said, I don't know. It's something that I was always thinking. I thought about it throughout the movie, like they did it with her. Why couldn't they do it with all the other ones? So, I don't know. That's just me though. So yeah, I don't want to go too long with this video. Basically, that's kind of it. So, aesthetics were okay. The music is just orchestrated music. It was pretty cool. I don't know. Its plot was okay, but it could have used a lot more work. But I think that they, again, left it open for a sequel or even a series, a trilogy, or whatever of movies. So I would not doubt that they'll do that. Yeah, the one other thing that I keep hearing people complain about is the editing and the pacing of the movie, where they skip around places like a lot. And yeah, I do remember they skipped around places a lot, and I think that's because how people were saying there might be like a bunch of extended scenes that they took out or shortened. So if there's ever a collector's, or what is it, the extended edition, sorry, yeah, they'll probably add in those scenes or make them deleted scenes, the special features or whatnot, but not too sure. With that being said though, yeah, no, there's a lot more. There's a lot more that I remember that I didn't say in this movie, about this movie, because I don't want to like go too long with this review, but it is pretty much, surprisingly, I was not too bored. I was just, maybe because my brain was working so hard to try and remember all this shit so I could do this review. And hey, give me credit. Not once, I cut a couple times. That was because I had to remember the names, remember everything. I did not look it up. I looked none of this up prior. I'm proud of myself for doing that. I did not look, my computer is on over here, but it's not, I don't have anything open. I wasn't looking off to the side. I wasn't looking at my iPod's over there too, charging. So I didn't look at anything prior to this. It's pretty memorable. Even for someone who's never played the games, didn't care for the games, or the lore or anything, that didn't know jack about Warcraft, I would kind of recommend go see it, just because, it looks pretty cool. Again, there's going to be some parts that you're going to be like, okay, that could have been worked on, or that could have been, that didn't need to be there, like the romance and all that, but it was pretty okay. So, and if you know Warcraft, then you're pretty much going to love this movie, for the most part. Now that just depends if they adapted it right or not, and you guys will be able to tell. I don't know, so as a movie, I'm just judging this as a movie. As a movie, not even a video game adaptation, I give it a 7 out of 10, because it was pretty memorable, surprisingly memorable. I was not too bored throughout the whole thing, not so much. On the more down moments where I was just like, trying to comprehend what was going on and couldn't exactly, that's where I was like, okay, can we like get some action going or something? And they would. There were some moments actually that were kind of funny that made me chuckle a little bit, with the dialogue or with certain little things that happened here and there in the movie. So it was pretty fun, surprisingly. I really thought I wasn't gonna like this movie. I wasn't going in with the mindset of, oh, it's gonna suck or whatever. No, I was trying to see if I could keep an open mind and if I could be entertained, and I kind of was. So I mean, that's surprising. So I would recommend it, even if you've never seen, if you've never played the games or what have you. I would definitely recommend it, just to see, just challenge yourselves now. I did it, now I recommend, I challenge you guys to go and do this. See if you can watch this movie, keeping an open mind all the way through, and try not to get bored. Try not to look on your phone even though you shouldn't be in a freaking theater. Try to pay attention, see how much of it you actually remember after you get out of the theater, after you finish watching the movie, if by this time it comes out on DVD. Yeah, it was actually pretty okay. Not the best movie I've seen or anything like that, but it was okay. So yeah, with that being said, 7 out of 10. Hopefully you guys enjoy this review. Go see it. So yeah, I'm Marcelo. I'll see you guys later, and take care.